What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of whatever the hell this is called, where I just have a whiteboard and now I have a giant sticker behind me, and how cool is that? Look at it! What a sticker! Am I out of the screen? I am. Today is all about how to properly build a bum, because if you've seen my bum, you'll know that I'm a butt building expert. That's like a weird thing to say. I take no credit for any of the butt stuff that I'm about to talk about, and I give all that credit to someone named Brett Contreras. If you don't know who that is, you should probably look him up. Just don't look up Brett Contreras butt stuff, because I don't know what's going to come up on Google. Just search Brett Contreras. He is the professional. Any of the butt-related info I'm going to talk about, and I'm never going to get over how whack that sounds. Anyway, we're going to just talk about how to systemize a program and critique a lot of the technique flaws that I see, so that you get the most out of all the exercises that you perform within a structured and principled plan. First, we're going to talk about the heavy exercises that I talk about, or that I use within the program in order to facilitate mostly mechanical tension, if we're going to reference the 3 factors affecting or contributing to the development of muscle size, which this is all from Brad Schoenfeld. I'll use squats, deadlifts, RDLs, and hip thrusts from a range of 3 to 7 reps. These are all pewterized within the microcycle and obviously the mesocycle, and I guess you could say the annual plan macrocycle. I guess with the annual plan I have an idea of what we're going to do. I don't really make a whole yearly plan because things will change in a year. Some people might not even train for a whole year, so it's not really worth me or worth even the client understanding or knowing about an annual plan. So we'll program mesocycle after mesocycle, and we'll just see how we go from there. But pewterized intelligently, these exercises can facilitate gains in strength and thus hypertrophy to a certain degree, and these are largely used as a mechanical tension component of the program, if we're referencing more of a hypertrophy orientated program. As for lighter exercises, we're going to perform them for more reps and a decreased intensity, I guess measured with percent of 1 rep max. Notice up here I use perceived rate of exertion and then not here. That's because I made a mistake and I'm an idiot. But you can use any of these to measure intensity, and I've talked about that previously. With the lighter exercises, you could use them, you could use the exact same exercises. I would just probably not use deadlifts for more reps, just because it's quite high in the nervous system, unless you're practicing technique. But if your goals are hypertrophy, you don't want to waste a lot of time practicing technique with exercises that you aren't very good at. You want to perform exercises that you're good at so you can load the desired muscles effectively and then go from there. If you spend a lot of time learning how to do something, which you obviously will have to spend time learning how to perform the exercise, but if you spend too much time learning how to perform the exercise, especially a deadlift without much of an eccentric component, then for hypertrophy. You can use some machines, and I really like bands because you can use them as many times really as you like throughout the week. They're not going to leave you too beat up like a deadlift would, which is going to have a really, really high fatigue. It's going to really augment lots of fatigue. Let's talk about some technique issues that I see, and I'm only going to touch on 2 of them, and that's lumbar extension and a lack of external rotation in some lifts. Not all the lifts, you're not just going to walk around externally rotated 24/7, but in some of the lifts, just because a function of the side butt muscles, we'll just call them for, to keep it simple, a function of those muscles is to externally rotate the femur. So without really facilitating that function, you're not really going to target your glutes as effectively as you could and build that round, robust booty that you're probably looking for. So with lumbar extension, a lot of the time people do these exercises like kickbacks and stuff, and it's all just lower back, and they extend their lower back real hard and they kick their leg up in the air, and then you're not really recruiting your glutes as optimally as you can. So what I tell people to do, and I did pick this up from Brett and some other fitness pros out there, so credit to where credit's due. But I like to tell people to tuck their rib cage up to their pelvis, almost round their middle back, and then from there perform the kickback whilst bending your knee really hard, so you're not your knee's not extended, it's bent, and tensing your glutes and making them as hard as you can through the whole movement. You can even do that without bands, and that still sucks. I've only ever had one person do it without full range of motion. I guess it must be something to do with their hip anatomy, but they feel it less when they feel it less when they use full range of motion, and they feel it more when they perform half reps. So you can perform them multiple times a week without many consequences because they're quite light, or they're really light in load, not so hard on the nervous system, and won't leave you feeling very fatigued. With this lack of external rotation, what you can do is add a mini band or micro band around your knees during squats and stuff, just to learn the movement. It's like training wheels, and then you take the training wheels off and you're better without the band. You have to wear a band 24/7. I remember everyone was doing mini band stuff and people walking around with friggin' bands down the street. No, waste of time, stupid. So, when I say dysfunction, I mean dysfunction in reference to that movement, not dysfunctional like because you suck. Dysfunctional like with relevance to the movement. It's not something that is ideal when you perform the exercise. So when you promote the wrong sort of technique, the person tends to fix it up, and there's like science on this because science is the shit. If you make something wrong, the person will fix it. So if I could just conclude all this very briefly, it would be that a combination of heavy and light loads is important for facilitating gains in butt size and just in just hypertrophy in general. You can use a combination of free weights and machines. Machines are not the freaking devil. Don't demonize them. They are important tools to use, especially with cases where hypertrophy is the main goal, because you can do quite a lot of volume without many consequences with reference to central fatigue across the course of the training program. But consistency is what really will drive adaptation, so make sure you're consistent in the gym and pump that booty. That sounds whack, but I'll leave it in. TTFN Tata for now, and I'll speak to you in the next one.